hi everyone. I'm just briefing the structure once. I will be introducing the session and also will be giving a brief introduction about the doctor. He will be speaking with us today on conscious parenting for tech-savvy teenagers. After the session, the floor will be open for questions. Since there are a lot of participants, I won't be able to unmute everybody, but if you can type the questions over here, I will ask the same to the doctor. Okay, for the benefit of anybody who's new here, I'll be giving a brief introduction of Resonance as well. Resonance is one of the top 10 coaching institutes for IIT and NEET aspirants in India. It started more than 19 years ago in Kota, Rajasthan by Mr. R.K. Verma, who himself is an IIT Madras alumni. In Hyderabad, Resonance has been training IIT and NEET aspirants with facilities that include hostel, day scholar, and semi-residential. And coming to doctor's introduction, Dr. Virender is a renowned psychologist who holds multiple master's and doctorate degrees in psychology, philosophy, counseling, and guidance. He's also the founder of UNV Psychological Counseling Center in Hyderabad, and he has conducted many prominent national and international sessions in the span of 20 years. Today, he's speaking with us on conscious parenting for tech-savvy teenagers.
Good evening to all the parents, and also I thank Resonance for giving this wonderful opportunity to interact with all of the parents. Hope due to Corona, majority of the people there may be in their homes, parents also working from home. You know, pretty well the COVID is really showing great influence on our lives, and it is really changed a lot our lifestyle. And also we have started working with the SMS principle, sanitize your hands, keep the mask on your face, and maintain physical distance. And this is only the mantra which is really influencing your life. And I hope that you are all practicing that and keeping yourself safe and also keeping others safe. So I appreciate that all your kids are with the Resonance. I know Resonance since a decade, because around 7-8 years back, my daughter also took associated with this Resonance, appeared for some of the tests for IITG. Through that Resonance, I know since then, and I took this opportunity become part of this Resonance program. Resonance has so much of track record of helping the people who are preparing for IITG and competitive exams in the 10, 11. And I hope that you know pretty well about the IIT exam, because IIT exam is one of the most sought after test in India. I hope that you all know that around 13 lakh students regularly appear for IITG, around 11 to 12,000 seats in it. And before we enter into the session, let me thank my parents for giving this wonderful life. Let me also thank all my teachers who really added great amount of validation to my life. Let me thank thousands of students who really made me what I am today in front of you. And let me also thank all the farmers who are constantly, continuously feeding us to survive on this planet. Let me also thank all the front warriors in dealing the COVID, maybe doctors, maybe sanitation force and police, and all other people who are all come on to rescue of the many people who lost their livelihoods. And let me also thank the Resonance for this opportunity, and also appreciate Purna taking lead in connecting me with this Resonance platform. Hope parents will be knowing the teenagers are the most powerful people on the planet, because the whole market in the world is being designed and influenced to lure the teenagers to buy their apparels or goods. Similarly, education also. See, there's always a question for the latest parents that they always listen to their kids, and these parents also, they were listen to their parents, and both the ways they are in the middle, that they have listen to their kids and so they listen to their parents. So the teenagers and less generation, we call them as the post-millennials or centennials, we call them, because those are the people who born after 2000 years to this millennium. So there's a small classification is there as far as the generations are concerned. Till 1945, the name of the generation we call it as a silent generation. And who born between 1946 to 1964, we call them as a baby boomers. 1965 to 1976, we call them as Generation X. The people who born between 1977 to 1995, we call them as Generation Y. And 1996 to till now, we call them as the Sentinels or Generation Z. So dealing with Generation Z is really very tough because they have a lot of priorities compared to the parent generation. See, there's a lot of difference between the teenagers and the latest teenagers and the earlier teenagers. The teenagers who are in the Generation X period, who born 1965 to 1976, born teenagers, for example, means the parents who are very young at the time when they were teenagers. And if you compare those teenagers and now the existing teenagers, that means your kids, there's a lot of differences out there. For example, those teenagers, it means, for example, our generation. Those teenagers in our generation, we have problems. That means Generation X teenager problems are not having proper food and not having a proper house, not having proper facilities for education, and not having proper guidance for education to travel through. No fun trips, no weekend joys, and not really much communication. These were the basic things in those days. Now the latest teenagers, Generation Z teenagers, the centennials you can call, post-millennials. Not having Wi-Fi is a problem now in the house. Not having weekend pizza, not going to multiplex is a great taboo. Not having different breakfast every day is also a major problem in the house. Not having latest Android or iOS model phones. Not having freedom to go to friend's house to sleep over or to go to the friend's house to wish in the midnight. Not having the latest bikes and always carry with the complaints on the parents. Earlier, when we were young, our parents sometimes used to complain, "You're not like that. You're not like this." Now, situation totally toppled and changed. Now the kids are started complaining of the parents that you're not my friend's parents, you're not my neighbor friends' parents, and they were all under use comparison about the parenting attitudes and the parenting styles, and they keep on complaining about the parents' issues and parents' attitude. That is a difference you can really think about now. So now the latest parents, they work with respect to kids. They try to make happy their kids. They make money to raise their kids in the best position. This generation parents are always try to work hard, do overtime. They burn midnight oil. They travel a lot of distances. They keep their kids at coaching institution or college, and they keep roaming around the world to make fast bucks and to make big money and bring back and make their kids placed in a better institutions and with a better costume, better everything. And they don't look at their status, afraid of anger of the kids and a threat of sometimes suicides. This is the latest parents' trouble they are experiencing. During X generation, 1965 parents, 1965 to 97 parents, they work with respect to their old parents. They try to make their parents happy. They make money to make family to live. They never look at them for help. Afraid of their parents, and now they never care much their kids in the past. This was the basic history. So then naturally there is a question, how a parent could, what a parent supposed to do? So now I'll tell you simplest thing, a parent, P-A-R-E-N-T. The parent means is supposed to be, he should praise their kids constructively. Instead of praising a kid as, you are very good, great. Instead, if they are really doing any work at home, you can praise the work instead of praising them directly. Let's suppose they have been putting their efforts continuously every day around 5 to 6 hours. Instead of say that, Mr. Ravi, you are really great. Uh, you are since morning I am seeing you are keep studying. Instead of that, you can pray that the amount of efforts you are putting towards competition, towards your knowledge gaining is really fantastic. See, this we call it as a constructive praise. There are two types of praise are there, no? Constructive praise and destructive praise. So if you can focus on their efforts, focus on their commitment, focus on their determination, focus on the way in which they show interest to update their knowledge and improvise their skills, we can definitely appreciate work. So we are appreciating through the work and reaching to the a teenager, which always really very, very helpful for the child to improvise. So he realizes that, oh, I am recognized through the efforts what I am putting. Then slowly they really get the motivation to put more effort on their studies. And most important, majority of the parents now parents are not really in that position that they don't accept the child. That is a major challenge now. They always want their children something to be, and they ignore the present child, what it is in front of them. They think that their child should be something else. This is a major disturbances, communication gap developing between the parent and child. So better accept the child as it is in terms of their abilities, in terms of their limitations, in terms of their disturbance in their emotions. And another in the parent PA is that R is respond and don't react. See, tell what is to be told, not immediate reaction to the whatever the child shows the tantrum. And we address the child out of our anxiety. We address the child out of our depression. Address the child out of our stress. We address the child out of our own anger. So parent role now to handle the teenagers definitely it is a bigger challenge because teenagers, the age itself, Professor Hall, out of his research, he told teenage is a stress and storm age group. So they undergo a lot of stress. They really face a lot of trouble. So it really disturbs them. That is the reason we need to handle effectively. And majority of the parents, when they come to us in order to improvise their concentration, improvise their structuring of the day, improvising their relationships, organizing their emotions with which they deal every day in the family and outside, in order to make them to address their study skills. We have a UNME is a counseling center. It is near RTC Crossroad. Regularly, I get more number of cases with the students from 8th to engineering end. This is the major base of the students who keep coming to me with advice with the parents to take the help and to improvise their concentration, improvise their study skills, improvise their performance. This is how majority of the parents they take help and they get help from me and they make themselves better. Parents come with a conclusion that my teenager is always emotional. Why? I deal everything, I give everything whatever they want. We order every weekend pizza and we given latest mobile. And whenever we ask him, why don't you sit and study? Then immediately get anger. I already studied. Today's studies is over. And how to make my kid to be more comfortable with the emotions and with me. Why don't they talk in a normal tone? They always some emotion is being attached to their conversation with me. That really disturbs me. So what I need to do? Then this is a challenge all to all the parents, and they're really under a lot of confusion. They are in the stream of thoughts. They are really don't know. They are lost in the abyss. Why teenagers are emotional? Yes, teenagers are emotional because it is a biological issue. Why? Because majority of the teenagers since birth, every human being go through this stage. As they born, since then, as they are growing, the total brain physically it forms. We have a lot of areas in the brain. There is amygdala, hippocampus, hypothalamus. These are all seat of emotions. And there is a one area we call this. This is PFC, prefrontal cortex. This PFC physically formed, completely formed, but the neurons in the PFC are not connected totally, because the PFC is the region in our brain, basically which helps a person to think rationally, address positively, learn to be more practically is being done when PFC is completely formed, completely connected. Neuron to neuron connection, the PFC is formed only at the age of 24 and 25. Till then, it is being formed, taking shape. So when the child is experiences different experiences in the day-to-day life, then slowly neurons are get connected, and till they reach 23, 24, and 25, it completely forms. So till that point, that period, there's a teenage period, is very challenging because it directly goes to the amygdala and the emotional area. That is the reason teenagers are always emotional. So this because the parents they really never know the scientific reason for why these people are always emotional. That is the reason the parents are emotional. So we need to think. So we need to address. We need to understand that they have this immature things which exist not just because that they not experienced or exposed to the world, but also their physiology is not really permitting to be more practical. So because of the reason, the teenagers are little emotional. So that is the reason, as a parent, you need to accept as it is. So learn to respond to the kids instead of reacting on their situations. And whenever the child comes to you and talk about maybe about performance, maybe about the relationships, maybe about the friendships, maybe about their future ideas, maybe about their aspirations, maybe about their perceptions. So better you always try to be in the encouraging instead of discouraging, because as their PFC is not totally formed, they are not ready to listen a no word from the parent, because that is a age where they also have suffering with the what do you call identity issue. They want that they want to be recognized that they are unique, they are different, they away from others. They have a different skill, different ways of abilities. In fact, it is true, because every human being on this planet are unique, special, different. They're born different. That we need to understand. As a one parent to other parent is different, every child is also different. Maybe they're born for the same parents, they are different, they are unique. And to say microscopically, if you can understand that the fingerprints also different in person. Imagine the nature is so creative, such a fantastic engineer, which can design every child, every human being is totally different. By identity is different. Once you're able to understand that, yes, my child is different from other child. Yes, he is unique. The Professor Howard Gardner, who is a professor at Harvard University, he proposed a theory. multiple intelligence theory. Every human being born with 10 multiple intelligences. 10 multiple intelligences every human being is having. So out of this 10 multiple intelligences, at least one or two are dominated with every human being. At least one. But majority of the people dominated at least 3 or 4 intelligences. That is the beauty of the individual. That is the reason you need to learn to accept your child as it is. You just cannot compare the child with any. Out of these 10 multiple intelligences, as I said, at least they have one, or generally they be dominated with 3 or 4 intelligences. That is the reason you need to encourage the child. And the N in the parent N is never compare your child with anybody. Why? Because they are not compatible to compare. Because this child is completely different. If you compare, it is like comparing a rose flower with a jasmine flower. All are flowers. If you keep 2 flowers and say which flower is great, it is difficult to say. You can't say. Because every flower has its own identity, every flower has their own fragrance, every flower has a majesty, every flower has a tenderness, every flower has its own fragrance, every flower has its own blooming period, every flower its own role. So once you understand and realize that children are definitely different and they are not compatible. So learn to accept the child as it is. Majority of the parents, the problem is that they may not compare with other kids, but they compare with the child. They create an image in their brain and their child in front of them. They always respond not to the child in front of them, but they respond with respect to the image they created in their brain. This is the major problem with the majority of the parents. They come with a list of things. I'll share one example, one experience which happened recently in the 2019 November. One parent came with his child. The child was performing is okay, but he has a lot of complaints. He says that I never seen my child studying at home. This is really annoying me because I put a lot of money on him and also my aspirations are very high. I think I definitely wish that my child should be in one of the IITs, at the most NITs. But looking at his working style, I'm not happy. I said, okay, let us see. I had interaction with the child. I asked his performance. His performance is pretty good. We can test he is doing well. And also some of the mock tests he could do. That is also going well. Then I asked their father, see, he is performing well, he is doing good. What is that thing which really bothers you? No, I don't believe that we can test and all that. Institutions, I don't think they really so strict and they conduct the weekend test. They may be copying from others and all. The major issue is that his father is not happy because whenever he comes to the house after office hours, either he'll be relaxing or he'll be sleeping. Something is other happening. Then I inquired with the child about the father's complaint. He said, yes, whenever my father comes, yes, I'm not really studying. I said, why? He has given his, I asked him to write down minute to minute day structure. He said early morning he'll get up around 5 o'clock. He gets ready, and then child goes to the classes, IIT classes. Then father gets up at 5:30, and he go for a jogging. And the child come back by 8:30 to the house, and the father also returns by the time. Then both will get ready, and by 9 o'clock, the boy goes to the college, and the father goes to the office. He's a doctor, goes to his clinic. And in the afternoon, Child comes back and he have lunch around 1:32, and the father also comes at that time. They'll also lunch together. And at 2:33, father leaves the house. Child will be in the house till 5 o'clock. 3 to 5 he studies. Then at 5 o'clock, once again he's go to the classes. And at that time, exactly 5 o'clock, father comes. Then by the time the child leaves the college, leaves the house, then father spends some time at home around 1 hour. Then he goes to the clinic. Then the child comes by 7 o'clock. He start reading from 7:30 to 9:30. Then the father comes by 9:30. Both will have a dinner. Then father goes to the sleep, and the child reads for 1 hour and then sleep. This is the. Then I asked both the schedules I written and I kept in front of the father. He could see, oh, this is the schedule. Oh, I see. So morning 5:30 is go to the class. Yes, yeah, he goes to the class. That's fine. In the afternoon, I come for lunch. Yeah, he also comes for lunch. Then I go to the clinic and during that period he's studying. Oh. Then evening, I'm really going and he's going to the classes. So there, what you do? He goes there and he'll sit and practice all the problems whatever he taught in the classroom. He'll come back home around 9:30. He has dinner with the parents, and then father goes to the bedroom and he'll sit for study for 1 2 hours. This is the schedule. Then I asked the father, where is exactly the difference you could see? No, if this is fine, this is schedule, this is fine. See, majority of the parents have this issue. They have a problem in perceiving the issue. See, in the world, there are two things are there. One is that seeing actual problem. Second thing, seeing that, perceiving that as a problem. Now, majority of the problems are parents are suffering in perceiving that as a problem, not exactly the problem. So once we can make a difference, whether it is perceiving the problem, the situation, or really the problem. Once you're able to demarcate this, I think the majority of the parents can be comfortable. Because this generation, majority of the kids, they are all goal-oriented. And they have absolute inside motivation. Another most important thing you all need to understand that they are highly creative. They are highly creative. Now, the old stereotypic parents think that they should sit and study for 14 hours, 15 hours. But now children are not like that. They are highly focused. Some of the kids, they were all going into the IIT foundation courses from the 8th, 9th, 10th. And when they come to the intermediate, the basics of maths, physics, chemistry, they were really taught well in the foundation. And in the classroom also, majority of the teachers come with a idea that these people are well trained. When they ask a question, immediately they respond and give the answers. Then the planning of the question, take off the subject will vary. It's not olden days. So children all respond very proactively and give the answers, and they understand, and they get into the too much of smart preparation and active themselves and they perform it. So this is how kids' status is now. So that's the reason I suggest the parents look upon, understand that don't compare. Not comparing with other children. I'm also asking you, don't compare your image created by you in your brain that my son's supposed to be like this. Erase the child you created in your brain. See the reality, accept the child as it is in front of you. He is the real child, not the image created in your brain. And the most other one T in the parent last T is talk to your kids with the trust and give time and touch and speak. This is the most important thing. Recently, before lockdown, in the month of January, one parent came to her daughter. Both parents came. Daughter has some issue. So they started talking about the child, that the girl is in intermediate first year. Then I started talking to the girl, and the girl looks very sad, not depressed, but she's sad. Her face is not bubbling. You know, either teenager in intermediate or 10th class or 9th class intermediate, the face is supposed to be radiant and vibrant, and they should be very bubbly. That is how the teenager age is. But the child is very sad, no eye, spark in the eyes, cheeks are very dropped down, very sad. Then after talking to the child and the parent, I asked the mother to come into my chamber. I spoke to her totally inside in what you call privately. I asked the mother, when did you hug your daughter? Mother said, hugging? No, I did not remember. I asked mother, when did you kiss your daughter? Kissing? No, no, we don't have that kind of habits. See, I'm talking about kissing your daughter. Kissing your daughter. She said, no, 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 we don't have that habits. See, imagine. And that lady was a doctorate in a particular subject. So working as a scientist. We are so much of novice in dealing our kids. So when this is a situation, naturally the kids are really feel depressed. So we need to know, we need to understand, hugging and creating a message to them that the kids are very, very important to us. When you kiss, when you hug, it gives a louder message to the kids that my parents love. So this is how the parent complete meaning is. So you know pretty well that this is a IIT exam is a highly creative exam. So of course students are very creative. If a better students are really catch hold of a better teacher, the relationship between the teacher and student can really exhibit their performance levels, and there is a resonance emerges between the child and teacher and a student, and it reflects in the performance.
Sir, we have a few questions coming in from the attendees.
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So first question is, okay, since now we are under a lockdown, right? Most of the classes are happening online. So
Yes.
one of the parents is concerned, what is the right gadget to give my child to attend the class? What is suitable for her age? Which gadget?
See, I request all the parents, don't try to give the mobiles, and also better make them on the desktop computer if you have. Desktop computer. In that, let them listen to all the lessons.
Okay.
And also, the computer is supposed to be accessible. Don't allow them to sit in a closed room. And if at all anybody is sitting, let the create a environment, a peaceful, serene environment where they can sit and listen to the classes. And also, I suggest them. There are a lot of softwares are available not to open. Install that software. You ask your a computer expert who is given a computer to you, ask that fellow to download or keep one software, security saved software, except these sites, no site should open.
Okay, someone else is asking, is it a computer or a laptop? Does it make a difference? Computer?
Yeah, it makes a difference because if you give a laptop, they can carry and go in anywhere and sit. And there's another majority of the houses has a problem that they don't open the door even after knocking. So better is don't give that opportunity for any child to carry anything with them. So better is let them, because I suggest that the computers always have a bigger screen than laptop and than your mobile. So always exposed to the bigger screen will be always better. They have a little more freedom to sit and turn their head. But if it's a mobile, you need to put total head into the mobile and keep watching. Then that is a really stressful activity.
True.
So the better is that let them listen to the computer and have good headphones, and let them sit and listen, and they can have a free accessibility to move their body and head also. That will be more helpful, more useful.
Another question, one of the parents is asking, my child is stubborn. I guess this is about timetables, etc. She's stubborn. How do you approach such a child?
See, we need to know the meaning of stubborn. Stubbornness varies from different child to different. One fellow will be stubborn only in the as far as regarding eating is concerned. She or he always have a choice, and they don't go beyond that areas. So, and the parent want that they should feed other vegetables also, which he doesn't eat. Then there is a fight between the parent and child. So, better be specific about stubborn in what areas. Some kids are very stubborn about the wearing the dress. So, what kind of dress they want to wear, what kind of makeup if the girls are concerned. And about the boys, they are very particular about that to visit the places of their choice. They don't want to visit the what you call relative places. They don't want to go with the parents to particular places for a freak out or for entertainment. So the stubbornness varies. They don't want to get up early in the morning. Some people are very stubborn. Some kids are very stubborn in the way in which they eat. They skip the breakfast. They have directly lunch. They wanted to have a dinner late in the night. See, the stubbornness varies from person to person. So one thing we need to understand that stubbornness is just because to show unrest towards their attitude of the parent. It means that they need some help. It means they were imposed too many conditions on them. That is the reason they wanted to break the rule given by the parent. So understand that in the relation between the parent-child requires some amount of the openness. That is the reason when you want to impose certain conditions, first of all, you need to know that just like that you should not impose. You sit with them and talk. See, I want you to have regular breakfast. What we shall do? Child says, no, you prepare a nonsense breakfast every day, idli, every day upma. I don't like it. I want, pasta. I want, noodles. All latest fast food they want. So you can open a negotiation with the child, that 1-2 days we'll have this, and remaining we'll let us take the conservative food so that it will be very healthy and very useful for you. And let you come with some data of the nutrition, isn't it? If the pasta is most likely by you, instead of using more pasta, add more vegetables in that. Leave the least pasta with them. Still, you can call it as a pasta. You can call different names: pasta, vegetable, biryani, pasta, a snack, pasta. Some Western name you can add and give it. Major problem in the house. What is majority of the mothers? They really don't learn new stuff. They prepare same kind of breakfast in the house what their mother taught in where they were eating. So same thing they copy and put it now, but children now they are absolutely say no, big no. They fight but they don't prepare. So I suggest the majority of the mothers and fathers learn different varieties of breakfast which can come in and which are very healthy and very proteinous, very nutritious, and still they are modern and kids will accept.
So there are many questions coming in. I'm trying to club whatever is common.
Please.
So one of the questions says, my child has a problem in concentration. And the other question says, my child has like an anger management issue. He gets angry quickly.
Yeah.
These two.
Concentration and anger both are emotional issues.
Yeah.
One thing I can tell them, concentration is like a skill attached with emotion. So a skill can be learned, right? If any child who is unable to concentrate, there are two types of people are there who have this concentration issue. One is that some children are having some attention issues. Since childhood, the parent will see them. They never more attentive on any issue, not more than 15 to 20 minutes. So if that kid enter into this IIT mode of preparation, it is a challenging for the parent. Parent put more effort in studies about IIT preparation than the kid. The parent will collect a lot of books, a lot of information, a lot of question banks and put it in front of the child and force the child to sit and read. But it is very difficult for the child to sit and concentrate. So for them, I suggest you, please visit once me about anger as well as this concentration. We have a module which can train. It is just with the suggestion, it is not possible. Because it is a skill you need to learn. Let's suppose it is like cycling. See, if you ask me how I teach my cycling to my child is not cycling. I really cannot, just by saying it is not happening. So the same way, any child, any student is having the concentration issues, motivation issues, anger issues, meet a professional like me, they definitely train. And also for IIT preparation, it requires not only just concentration, but the sustained concentration for long hours. That is also very important. So I can help you because I already in the past, I taught students physics for the IIT students. I was associated with for some time with the Ramesar Institute. So I produced many number of IITians. So I know what kind of creativity they require, what kind of concentration they require, what kind of method of working is required for a student who really want to crack IIT. And the anger issues, it itself indicates that the child requires some help. So when the child experiences too much of stress, also get anger. When the child has multiple things to perform but unable to perform in a given time, also gets anger. So first of all, we need to analyze the situation. Then we need to know whether really the anger is coming out of just desperation or anger is coming because of the stress. After segregating and separating this, I think we can help the child better.
So there's many reasons under the same problem also, like
yes,
maybe
yes, exactly.
That needs to be, I guess, trained in session.
Yes. So we will definitely help the children who have that issue.
Yeah. The next question, sir, a lot of parents are asking about physical activity. What kind of physical activities would you suggest, and would that help in making them more goal-oriented, rather more focused?
Yeah, that's really a fantastic question they really asked. I can appreciate the parent that they have really a concern. Yes. See, due to this lockdown, and in general also, this centennials lost the interest to go and play in the fields. So what I suggest the parent is, let your child play at least a physical game. Let play in the ground so that they get a lot of sweat. They let them soil themselves in the mud. So this is the best thing, I think. At least 1.5 hours, let them go and play. At least 1 hour. Allow your parent to go and play in the grounds. Let them jog. Let them run. Let them play. At least ask them to play 1 hour game. That helps the person to become more creative, more focused, increase concentration, and the homeostasis is maintained properly. So the majority of the parents, what they do is, once they enter into the IIT, close. Everything is closed. Only eating, listen to classes, and sleeping. Only 3 activities. And this sedentary environment, sedentary lifestyle, will make the child to become obese. And naturally, they depend too much on parent. Majority of the parent, what they do when they are at home, while they are listening to the classes, while they are studying, the food is being served to the computer, the water is served to the computer. They sit in the computer, they say, "Amma, water, Amma, tiffin, Amma, breakfast, Amma, lunch." They don't move away from the chair. Parents also very happy for this. See, my child is studying. My child is putting so much of studies only for studies. Great. So parents are not really prepared. It's okay if they are studying, they do every service to, like a slave, they do it.
Sir, is there any certain amount of time that you allow them to get in physical activity, like an
exercise? Yes, I suggest them at least 1 hour.
1 hour per day. Then.
1 hour, they need to push them out of the houses.
Yeah, because a lot of parents are asking about schedule. What is the ideal schedule to crack IITs?
See, I told them, actually, there is no particular schedule because it varies from student to student.
Okay.
See, I'll tell you, if a student is highly creative, right, they can sit for 1 hour, they can produce n number of problems. Because the way in which they crack the problem is totally different. So we need to identify whether my student really involves in that kind of creativity or not. If that child is very creative, let them spend at least 3-4 hours is enough, more than enough. They can crack it, they can do it. But a student, I tell you, there are totally 5 types of students are there. I'll just, for them, I'll give awareness, understand them. So in these 5 types of students, one is one variety of the students, we call them that they are casual students, moody students, creative students, mediocre student, and serious students, and wild students. These are the total 6 category of students are existing right now in the classroom, in majority of the classroom. Okay. I'll tell you about the wild student. This wild student category is that they have 5 minutes of time. Just they turn the notes in the class. They never waste their time. They never talk to anybody. They are very, very focused, very serious. Unless otherwise they have a time, they have something to talk, then only they share something with the friends. Otherwise, they don't have any friends at all. This is widely students. Their performance will be always better. They are successful. Next category we call them as serious students. These students, their priority is studies, but not only studies. They at least every day 3-4 hours they spend on studies, and they spend at least 1 hour with the friends. They go to the chart and they talk and they share and they have fun. Sometimes they go outside, they make fun with the friends, they go for movie, they go for photography, they do something, but their priority is always about studies, and they're also very successful. And next is creative students. These creative students, like Amir Khan in Three Idiots, they are highly creative. They're mischief also. They make a lot of fun, and they have a lot of friends surrounded with them. But they can perform better. But the people who are connected with them, they don't perform. Because looking at them, this fellow never studies much. They listen for 1 hour and they can produce 3-4 hours of material. And they have a solution for every problem. And the people who are connected with them are depend on him. And they were looking at them. He's also not studying. I can also not study. Not necessary. Before exams, we can study. And the amount of creativity this student is having, the other people don't have. Then this fellow will be successful, and this fellow will be, all other people will be failure. And the next is media course students. These media course students always think about studies, always with the books, always they start working, but they never become successful. Why? Because their ability to understand the problem, the ability to crack a problem will be very, very low. They have intelligence in other areas, but as far as subjects of maths physics concerned, you know pretty well that the maths physics requires some logic way of looking at the issue. Cracking the problems in a different perspective, you need to learn to see them. Mediocre people can put more effort and study, but they never finish their syllabus in the schedule what they prepared by themselves. Every day they prepare a schedule. Every week they prepare a schedule. And every time the percentage of the syllabus will be left out and they cannot study. And moody and casual, these students is a major problem in the family. Parents are very, very stressed up because of these two categories. Because sometimes they have a mood and they continually study for 1 week days, and another 1 month they don't study. Then definitely their performance will be go down and they fail. So these 6 categories of the students are existing right now. So we need to go with respect to the student to student. But one thing is that in any institution, child is there, and we go with the teacher's suggestions. If a teacher is given a content on that particular day, at least 80% of the syllabus need to finish on the same day, the content delivered by the teacher. And let them practice the model modules, questions which are available from the previous IIT question papers, and let them understand the way in which the question is coined, the way in which the answers are being driven, whether I'm able to get that type of way of cracking the problem or not. Then this, if any student has to get, at least they need to work out for 4-5 hours. That is a minimum thing a student need to put effort.
So I think there's a follow-up question a lot of parents are asking. So some kids are more creative and some kids have more analytical abilities, etc. How do you recognize what is your child's major, performance area? Is he creative or is he intelligent?
Yeah, yes. See, as majority of the parents, I suggest instead of fathers, mothers can identify.
Oh.
Mothers are highly, highly creative in understanding their children. But the only thing is they have a lot of anxiety issues, majority of the mothers. Because in homemakers or distant parents, father will be working somewhere, mother is placed in Hyderabad and putting them in the institution. They have to take care. And in this situation, they have a lot of pressure because they have to be answerable to the husband, they are answerable to the family, they are answerable to everybody. Though they identify that there are some issues, the fathers are not ready to accept this. So what I suggest is that if any child is highly creative, putting very less number of hours in studies, I suggest take the help of a professional like me, because they can guide them, they can help them, so that the environment in the house will be more peaceful and more comfortable. Instead of blaming, instead of anger, instead of disappointment, instead of sadness, instead of too much of stress, these things can be more made comfortable in making the parent to understand the creativity of the child.
Right. So there's another important question. Some parents are asking, how do you not let your child fall into peer pressure, comparing themselves to other kids and sort of?
Yeah. See, this comes from when they are in the school.
Okay.
See, majority of the kids who are compared by the school managements are the teachers, because majority of the teachers, I'm sorry to say, they really don't know how to improvise the competitive spirit among the children. What they do, they tell that, you see, look at Swapna, how she is studying. You are having more intelligence, Swapna. Why don't you beat Swapna? See, the question is not to beat Swapna or Rakesh or some Srilata. The question is that how he has to improvise his ability to concentrate more, ability to reproduce more, ability to perform more, ability to understand more. See, if put a challenge or benchmark by his own ability, then the child grows with a very healthy competitive spirit within himself. We need to make the parent and child to understand that there is nothing, there is nobody to compete or except their own benchmarks. So if you can create an environment and the parent that don't compare your child, so make them compare with respect to their benchmark performances and now, because every child can improvise day to day, because their ability to expose to this world is increasing. Then naturally they can put bigger goals every day so that they can touch them and they can influence. So once you create this healthy environment, naturally they disappear their ability to compare with everybody, but they start comparing with their own self. So this comes out with the parent support. Once the parents start appreciating the development made by the child, then the child can start working with own self. Then this person also stop comparing himself with the other person and grows with a desired goal to achieve it.
Right, sir. So you're saying they should compare themselves with their own frame of reference rather than
Yes, 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 yes. Because already we discussed that no child is compatible to compare with anybody
right.
in anything.
One more important question. My child is usually very focused and smart, but because of the corona situation, he or she is feeling a little low. How do you encourage them and keep them motivated until this situation sort of settles
Yeah,
down?
see, what I say to you, if your child is in only first year, right? Don't pressurize the kids too much every day to study, 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 because already the environment is very stressful for everybody.
True.
You know, I get every day calls from the students and the parents, because the environment is like this. Some children have a lot of anxiety inside. That is, corona may affect their family, corona may affect their members, corona may affect their friends. So these are all suspicious environment is around them. So instead of pressing them, sit with them, talk to them, ask them how many hours will be comfortable for you to sit and study. See that they can put the number of hours study as per their day. Remaining time, try to spend in spending time together to make them have a little fun in playing with them, not allowing them to play the video games or mobile games. Don't allow them to play this, because that depresses the people. So better is give the allot some time for even mobile also. Let them spare plus at least every day around 40 minutes. Fine. And remaining time, which is the leisure time, is there. Give time. I request the parents to give the time to play something. Old games are there. Bring back. When you start playing, playing is important with you, not what kind of game you are playing. Without empowering the child to play the games with the parent, then asking them to pressurize for studies is not really fair, and in this environment is not helpful.
Sir, Director of Resonance Hyderabad, Mr. Purna Chandra is also here. I think he has a question. Purna, can you type it out here, or if you can speak.
Hi, Doctor. So I have a question. So this I keep observing whenever I'm interacting with any parent, whenever I'm meeting them. So most of the parents. So what I observed as a common behavior is, especially all these people who finish 10th class and joining for IIT coaching or NEET coaching. What I observed is most of the people, it is not the student goal to become an IITian. It is not the student goal to become a doctor or anything.
Yes,
So
yes.
because at that age, people will not be in a position to make a decision whether I want to become an IITian or I want to become a doctor or whatever it is. Most of the times, parents, because they have seen a better life and all these things, they will think that okay, this for my kid, this will be the better future and all.
Yeah, yeah.
So, but what I observed is, so they have a dream and they're trying to yeah, basically educate their kid about that particular dream and they're joining the institute and all these things. But at the same time, in the back end, how to motivate the kid or how to pump up the kid to to that same kind of mindset so that he is also goal oriented. So this is a common problem which I am observing whenever I am interacting with parent. The parent is more worried like, okay, I want my kid to be in IIT.
Yes.
I want my kid to be a doctor and all these things, but they don't know like how to show, how to narrate the importance of that particular dream to that particular kid. So
Yes.
can you throw some light on this?
Yeah, sure, Purna. You raised a very big problem, big question it is. Everybody's question it is, isn't it? See, why children are not motivated by the parent? Because, see, they know that their parents are not from IIT. So they don't trust the parent words. It is like a person who is poor asking someone to become and teaching the methods how to become a millionaire. So they don't accept it. So in order to make the child to motivate, better take the child to a person who is in the IIT or who is finished IIT and leading a better life. That is one way they can really instill and create some trust among the child, that if you really put efforts, how a child can be an IITian, and then how you can really interact with the highly creative people. This is one way of installing. Second is take that student to an IIT campuses, available nearby campuses, and interact with the professor and make them see the laboratories. This is second one. Third one is go to a person who really did extremely good in the business with the IIT. So these are the three sources they can use it and make the child to understand these three things. Other one is taking to a teacher who is training the students, who are preparing for IIT, and who could train the students who are not really good in motivation and their skills, but still because of the training, because of the hard work, a child can perform better. Go to that student and get teacher, and these 5 people can make the difference in the motivation of the child. So that is the best thing. See, it is this is like this. There's old recently there's a saying in the WhatsApp has come, that is, if an egg is broken by outside forces, life ends, right? And if broken by inside force, life begins. Chick forms and chick will come out of the egg. So the parents, what they put, it is like happens like this. It's an external force on the egg that doesn't give the life. So child within himself, he has to get it. So these to get the inside motivation from the child to prepare for this IIT to crack, better is that he should see the output, he should see the growth because of this, he should see the benefits of being IIT, and he should see that how a student can really learn in a practical environment in IIT campuses, and these things can really enhance the motivation. The last is in addition to the 5 things, after interacting all these things, people like me can help the child to improvise his motivation towards the preparing for it.
One last question I have, sir.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, because of this COVID situation and all these things, students are away from the campuses, students are away from friends, and that too, this online learning. So basically, this attending classes on mobile, attending classes on laptop, and all these things.
Yeah.
Will it create any behavioral changes in the kids? How to identify them? If there is going to be any change? Because maybe as a normal human being, we might not be able to identify there is some behavioral change because of all this situation in my kid. How to identify that and how to handle that?
See,
this is something I observed in most of the parents' concern.
Yeah. See, majority of the students who are really having the screen addiction, either maybe because of the classes or because of their earlier issues, because of the mobile games or chatting or doing any browsing things, they're all definitely creates a lot of stress on the child. So when anybody who is under stress, one is that they don't give proper response to the parent queries, and they always in the withdrawal mode, and their face will be always with a sad face and looks very tiring. And the fourth one is they always try to in the sleepy mode, that indicates that they are putting a lot of time on mobiles in the night time. So by identifying this withdrawal mode, aggression, not ready to answer, I understand that that fellow is undergoing huge pressure. One is because of these classes and screen. Second is that he is unable to do what he is supposed to do in regular time. So these features definitely some of the students will express it. So identify them And instead of pressing him, instead of blaming him, instead of scolding, instead of abusing him, better meet a professional like me. They definitely help the child to make themselves to come out and give the better inputs to motivate himself for the studies to reach the.
I think we are sort of running out of time, but one last question, sir. One of the attendees is asking, how do all children overcome their fear of failure? What if
Yeah.
they?
See, the fear of failure is one part that where people get the motivation. See, the brain has only two things. One is pain and pleasure. These are the two things which can motivate anybody to achieve their goal. So the fear of failure comes out when they understand that the people around them criticize for their failure. If really give a trust by the parents that effort is our hand, the result is not in our hands, left out to the time. If we can give this trust for the child, definitely they come out of the fear of failure and they work on to get the pleasure out of success, pleasure out of the work. So we need to make them understand that the goals can be classified into three categories. One is process goals, second is outcome goals, and third is performance goals. So our outcome goal is getting into IT. So process goal is that everyday process, morning to evening, how much time you are putting, how much time is allocated for the maths, physics, and chemistry. And the performance goal is that every weekend, whether you have a test or not, or you yourself applied for some test, how is your performance levels? So by dividing your goal into these three categories and the test, your performance is very low in weekend test, check the process goals. Every day, how much time putting for mathematics, how much time giving you physics, how much time I'm giving chemistry. So talk to your respective teachers, and your process goals are not going good, then naturally performance goals will not go. When the performance goals are not good, naturally outcome goals also not will be as expected. So better you be stick to the process, then the product will automatically comes out. So don't focus on the product, focus on the process. Product is 1%, but the process is 99%. So once you focus on totally 99% how you prepare, then ultimately your outcome goal will become successful.
Right, sir. I think that is all. One of the other questions is a lot of people are mentioning mobile addiction.
Hmm.
Child is playing PUBG.
Yeah. See, this is the most disturbing question, because majority of the students are suffering because of the addiction is the game which is downloaded in all the mobiles. See, the majority of the parents, I have a straight question: why every house requires a Wi-Fi, right? Why every child mobile requires the 3G or 4G data connection? See, once you have given everything for the child, natural child attitude is to explore new things. That is how the children are. They are adventurous. They are creative. They are very curious. They are wanted to know everything. They wanted to be best in their groups. They don't want to be backhand when compared to their peer people. So these are all start coming in their brain, and they try to addict and they wanted to show that they are highly creative. So the best part is I suggest them, already you made accessible to all these things, right? So better is they, if anybody is too much addicted, with your intervention, I am sorry to say that it is not possible. The children become very aggressive. You ask them to remove any PUBG game. The best is that slowly you can decrease the speed of the Wi-Fi. Instead of 3G, you make it 2G, right? The speed of the game decreases, and they identify that there's something problem in the Wi-Fi. They start fighting with you, right? Then you can open a dialogue. Yes, I did, because the PUBG game is causing a lot of disturbances, isn't it? So instead of playing every toward the day, let us have a deal that you can play for every day half an hour. Okay. So that's how you can open a negotiation and make them to stick to particular timings. This is one way. Second way of doing is taking to a profession like, I know people in the month of December, one fellow is in 10th class. He was not sleeping for 3 days just to be in the PUBG game. Imagine. That is the motivation, desire they get while playing the PUBG. So better is if anybody is there, please meet a professional. We definitely help them to come out of the this addiction.
Right, sir. Thank you so much. One Mr. Satish Kumar has said thank you for your session, has been very helpful, and a lot of thank you messages over here. I
Yeah.
think we've covered most of the questions. Purna, if you have any other questions,
No, sir, I think we're done, sir. Thank you so much, doctor, for joining us today. And it was very helpful to, I'm sure like most of the parents also cleared their doubts and they might have enlightened themselves with your interaction. Thank you so much. And many of the people are asking how to contact doctor personally. So I
Yeah.
will ask them to, maybe you can share your Facebook credentials or something like that here. So that
Yeah,
they can
they can talk to me WhatsApp messages on my phone number. That is 944003791, and I'm available Facebook also, Virender Chenozu, and they can WhatsApp me or they can browse in the Google also. They get a lot of videos and also my phone numbers. And also I suggest parents who are really want to check their child is in anxiety or depression. We have one app is there. They can really go to that app and check whether the child is having any depression or any anxiety. That is app name is YOUNME. It is a free, you can download from the Google Play Store, and you can get assessed. There are 10-12 questions will be there. If you more questions are yes are there, you get a report that you need to see a professional. If you get that no, it is okay, then I think it is fine and comfortable. So in this pandemic situation, even teenagers or elders also they can get checked up with this questionnaires. That is free, and it is recently we have launched it.
right, sir.
Okay,
Thank you, doctor. Thank you for answering all the questions. And I would like to thank all the attendees also for asking all the really important questions. And thanks, Purna, for helping us conduct this. And anybody who has more queries can reach us out at resonancehyderabad@gmail.com, and we can take it from there. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, I appreciate Resonance for taking time out, and really is very, very helpful for the parent, I believe. Because rarely people believe that they should help the parents on this issue, because it is the most bothering situation of the parent.
Lots
And
of
it's,
messages pouring in, everyone saying conduct this every quarter.
yeah, I appreciate
yes,
that.
we will surely do it more often, sir.
Yeah, very good, very good. I feel very happy and honored for inviting me for this webinar.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thanks.
Thank you, Pooja. Thanks a lot for your initiation.
Thank you, sir.
Bye.
Thanks, everyone. Ending this.
Yeah.